The Life of Levi Ackerman, Attack on Titan. Levi Ackerman, often formally referred to as Captain Levi, is the squad captain of the Special Operations Squad within the Scout Regiment, and is said to be humanity's strongest soldier. Levi was born to Kuchel Ackerman, a prostitute who worked in the underground and was impregnated by one of her clients. One day, Kenny Ackerman, Kuchel's older brother, came to the city to see her only to find that she was dead. There, he found a young and squalid Levi sitting in front of his mother's bed. In a rare showing of compassion, Kenny decided to take care of him. He raised Levi as well as he could, teaching him life skills, how to get along with people, and violent behavior. Levi also learned to use his own inner power that he possessed as a member of the Ackerman family. Time passed, and eventually, Kenny taught Levi everything he knew. However, he didn't consider himself as a good father figure. One day, in the subterranean city, Levi started a fight which he won easily. At that moment, Kenny decided to leave him behind, satisfied that he had taught Levi the skills he needed to survive. Levi eventually became acquainted with Furlan Church. Furlan decided to test Levi's strength by having him fight a group of thugs. Furlan's plan was to see if Levi was worth recruiting into his group of thugs or not, and he was surprised to see Levi beat them all single-handedly. The two became friends and eventually started a gang together. After one of many heists pulled with their gang, Furlan was placed in charge of dividing profits from the job among his comrades. Knowing that Jan was suffering from a leg injury and would need extra money to afford medicine, Furlan gave Jan a larger cut compared to everyone else's. Noticing this, Levi requested to know why Furlan had been giving Jan preferential treatment. As Furlan was explaining, he was interrupted by the arrival of a young girl at their hideout's doorstep. Seeing that she was being pursued, they scare off her pursuers, and Isabel reveals that she was trying to get a bird up to the surface. That's why she was trying to sneak up the stairs. Having seen the two of them perform heists using ODM gear, she asks if she can become one of them. Levi agrees by saying she must first learn how to clean. After she's trained and sets the bird free, the trio's approach about a job. Their advance payment is the treatment of their crippled friend Jan, who has already been taken away to a surface clinic. Levi views the arrangement as their client taking a hostage, rather than offering the payment, and their client sweetens the deal by saying if they succeed, they'll receive the right to live on the surface. As the trio prepares for a heist, Furlan lets Levi know that he's confirmed the identity of the man offering the job, and that Jan is safely in a first-rate clinic. This is the real deal. Levi tells his teammates to act normal, and if their targets appear, they start the job. Shortly after the heist begins, the trio is pursued by more than the usual military police. Levi recognizes the Wings of Freedom and that the newcomers are from the Scout Regiment. The trio splits up, and Levi tries to dodge his pursuers by diving through a building and exiting through a different window. He fights with Mike Zacharias until their battle is interrupted by the arrival of Erwin Smith. The two face off, and Erwin tells Levi to stop and look around. Levi sees that Isabel and Furlan had been captured, and he reluctantly surrenders. The trio is shackled at the wrist while Erwin interrogates them about where they obtained their mobility gear and their training. He recognizes Levi as the leader and asks if he was ever in the military. When Levi doesn't answer, Mike grabs his head and slams his face into a dirty puddle. Seeing Levi's mistreatment, Furlan insists they were all self-taught. Erwin then offers Levi a deal. He won't be charged for his crimes if he joins the Scout Regiment. If Levi refuses, they'll be handed over to the military police, who are unlikely to treat them well. After a moment's consideration, Levi agrees. Levi and his friends are assigned to Flagon's squad. Their new section commander isn't fond of them and tells them to keep their barracks clean, implying that because they came from the underground, cleanliness would be a foreign concept to them. Levi nearly loses his temper, but Furlan intervenes and manages to appease Furlan. He also reminds Levi that they don't want to cause a scene. The three of them intended to be captured and recruited as part of the job for their client. They were there for two reasons: to retrieve a document in Erwin's possession, and then to kill Erwin Smith. They undergo training as part of their cover. Though Flagon initially disapproves of the way Levi chooses to hold one blade facing backward, Levi proves to be extremely competent with his unorthodox style. However, the trio has no luck finding the document and conclude that Erwin would probably keep something that important on his person at all times. The upcoming expedition should be the best time to steal the document and kill Erwin because the scouts will all be focused on the Titans. But Levi tells his friends to stay behind. None of them have ever fought Titans before, and it'll be dangerous. Furlan and Isabel convince Levi to believe in them, though, so he gives in, and the three of them depart on their expedition the next day. Before long, Titans appear. Levi kills one of them by himself and worries when another grabs Isabel, but she manages to free herself and Furlan kills it. Despite the three being proud of their success, Erwin scolds them for having used too much gas, which irritates Levi, who asks if he's supposed to prioritize his equipment over the lives of his friends. Shortly after, heavy rainfall begins to limit visibility. Levi realizes this is the best opportunity to kill Erwin and get the document without being seen. He tells Furlan and Isabel to stay behind so that the formation doesn't notice all three of them abandoning their position. The two of them wish him luck as he rides ahead. Before he gets far, he discovers a large number of bodies where an abnormal Titan has torn through the Scout Regiment formation. He realizes that he must have ridden right past it and turns back around to find his friends. Levi arrives too late and only finds Isabel's severed head and Furlan's torso. He goes blind with rage and tears apart a Titan with unbelievable speed, even cutting off the head entirely. As the rain dies down, Erwin finds him crying by the corpse of a Titan. Erwin calls him unsightly for being the only survivor. Levi lunges at him with the intention of killing him, but Erwin grabs his blade and reveals that he's always knew of Levi's intention. He's too late. The document is already on its way to Commander-in-Chief Zachary. This stuns Levi. He realizes how much he lost and that the job was over before it began. Before Levi's mentality can sink any further, Erwin tells him not to regret his choices, or eventually, he'll no longer be able to make any of his own. Levi decides to stay with the scouts, and as another expedition starts, he tells himself that he won't regret his choice. In the year 850, as the scout regiment prepares to depart on their 49th exterior scouting mission, Hanji tries to convince Levi to help them capture a Titan alive. Before she can finish her pitch, Levi immediately refuses. When Hanji breaks away from the regiment to pursue a Titan on their own, Erwin sends Levi's squad to keep Hanji safe. Oroao tries to kill the Titan, but Hanji intervenes and stops him, causing Oroao to get caught by the Titan. Levi quickly slays the Titan, saving Oroao's life, before confronting Hanji, enraged that they endangered his soldiers' lives. He's interrupted by Petra Rao, one of the best girls, who points out a soldier's corpse that's been enshrined in a nearby tree. As they investigate the body, Levi finds a notebook nearby recording the soldiers' final experiences. Following the expedition, Levi accompanies Oroao as he goes to apologize to Hanji for insulting them during the expedition. As they return to the scout regiment's headquarters, Levi informs Hanji that the information from the notebook they recovered has convinced Erwin to allow them to start trying to capture Titans alive. Levi is seen leaving Trust District along with the rest of the scout regiment on the 56th exterior scouting mission. As the scouts are waiting for the signal to depart, Levi takes the opportunity to insult Hanji. While on the expedition, Levi sees a scout caught in the jaws of a nearby Titan and kills it. As more Titans approach, Levi orders Petra to take care of the injured scout, while he, Gunther, and Eld take care of the remaining Titans. After clearing the immediate area, Levi checks on the injured scout, who's quickly succumbing to his injuries. In an attempt to comfort the scout in his dying moments, Levi assures him that he's done his duty well. As the scout dies, Erwin arrives and informs Levi that they're returning to Trust. Levi is unwilling to turn back so soon and is forced to concede when Erwin informs him that Walrose has possibly been breached. Levi arrives back in Trust in time to find 2 Titans bearing down on 4 soldiers at the base of the wall. He quickly kills the Titans and demands that the soldiers fill him in on what happened. 3 days later, after Erwin awakes in the dungeon beneath the courthouse, Levi assures him that the higher-ups will let him join the scout regiment, and that he himself will make sure Erwin doesn't get out of hand. Should that happen, Levi says, he will not hesitate to cut Erwin down. After Erwin issues a verbal challenge to the spectators during his trial, Levi violently beats him on the spot, mainly by kicking him, and mockingly observes that while chained on his knees, Erwin is perfectly placed for Levi's kicks. Armin has to restrain an infuriated Mikasa from coming to Erwin's rescue and killing Levi. She glares at Levi after the trial, and Levi appears unsettled by her. The beating was an act of theater which Mikasa was not aware of, designed to convince all witnesses that Levi can keep Erwin under control while the military police regiment can't. After the trial, Levi hands Erwin over to his special squad for the next month. They move into the castle that's the old Scout Regiment HQ inside Walrose. Levi orders Erwin to sleep in the castle dungeon so that if he accidentally transforms, he won't cause any problems. During the month Erwin's with Levi's squad, Hanji conducts experiments to try to get Erwin to transform. If Erwin goes out of control in Titan form, Levi intends to cut him out of the nape in a manner that would sever his human limbs, which would grow back in any case. However, Erwin fails to transform, and his hands don't heal from his bites. The squad decides to postpone any further experiments until, while having tea with them, Erwin leans over to pick up a spoon and accidentally generates a partial Titan body. The alarm squad threatens him, and Levi has to defuse the situation. Levi tells Erwin not to take their actions personally, and that they have good intentions. Later, after Hanji explains why Erwin triggered his Titan form, Levi's entire squad punishes themselves and apologizes to Erwin for acting on assumption. During the 57th exterior scouting mission, Levi and his team are ordered to ride in the safest area of Erwin's formation. When the formation is suddenly attacked by a horde of Titans coming up the right flank, they change course towards the forest of giant trees, and Levi's squad takes the central route. Once the female Titan appears, his squad begins to beg Levi to give them orders, but he continues to ride forward and look straight ahead. Erwin badly wants to transform and fight the female Titan, but Petra and her comrades urge him to trust them, and Erwin hesitates. Levi tells Erwin he's not wrong for wanting to transform, that nobody to know the correct choice until after they've made it and there are results. Whatever Erwin chooses to do, Levi says he should do it and believe he will not regret it. Erwin declares that he trusts in his squad's victory, and they keep going through the forest. This enables the scout regiment to capture the female Titan. Shortly afterward, Levi separates from his squad. He reunites with Erwin and prepares to extract the human in control of the female Titan from the nape of her neck. He immediately attacks her and tries to cut her hands, only to discover her ability to harden her skin. After Erwin orders the cannons to be loaded with explosives and aimed at the female Titan's wrists, Levi, standing on her head, taunts her with threats of violence, telling her he would like to face her in her human form over the beds of countless of his soldiers. In response, the female Titan begins to roar. Shortly after, Titans come at her from all directions seeking to devour her. On Erwin's order, Levi and the rest of the Scout Regiment elite try to protect her from them, but they fail. Erwin orders the scouts to retreat back to the Kawaneth district. However, Erwin notes that the steam from the Titan bodies will make it difficult for the rest of the scout regiment to see the signal flares. He then realizes that the human inside the female Titan may have escaped, and he orders Levi to replenish his gas canisters and blades. After the female Titan returns and kills Levi's entire squad, he and Mikasa join forces to retrieve Erwin from her. Levi tells Mikasa to distract the Titan but avoid trying to kill her. Levi then proceeds to attack the female Titan, and after a series of successful attacks, he incapacitates her. Seeing that the female Titan is now helpless, Mikasa disobeys Levi's orders and attempts to assassinate her. In saving her from the female Titan's hardened fist, Levi injures his left leg. Using the momentum gained from the last attack, he cuts through the female Titan's facial muscles, causing her to open her mouth and reveal Erwin inside. He grabs Erwin and flees with him and Mikasa, whom he scolds for having risked the life of her special friend for the sake of vengeance. During the scout regiment's retreat to Kawaneth, the remainder of the scouts are attacked by several Titans after one of the soldiers wants to retrieve back the body of his fallen comrade. As the Titans close in on one of the carts, Levi, who can't fight because of his injury, orders that the dead be rolled out of the cart to lighten the load so that they can outrun the Titans. One of the corpses is that of Petra. Her shroud blows off and her body is trampled. However, the unloading of the dead bodies enables the living to outrun the pursuing Titans. As they enter the Kawaneth gate after retreating, the scout regiment receives a hostile response from the public for their failed mission. Levi is also approached by Petra's father, who reveals that she wrote to him frequently. He tells me by that, as a father, he's worried about Petra's decision to dedicate her life to him, as she's still quite young and has her whole life ahead of her. Levi continues to walk silently ahead without responding. A few days later, Erwin is summoned to the capital for a trial to decide his fate. Beforehand, Levi, Erwin, Eren, and the other survivors reunite in the old Scout Regiment HQ. Armin tells them his theory about the female Titan's true identity. Levi himself, still injured, doesn't participate in the subsequent operation in the Soas district. However, in the final moments of Eren and Annie's battle, Levi, despite his injuries, rescues Eren from his Titan form before Annie's crystallization of her own Titan can trap him.